Feeling like you're always the one initiating, the one keeping things alive? What if the secret to making him utterly crave your attention lies not in doing more, but in artfully doing less? Most people either overdo it or ignore him destructively, pushing him away forever. You absolutely cannot miss the last crucial step if you want him chasing you like an addict. Silence speaks. Let's unpack a word that probably feels a little counterintuitive when we're talking about connection. Ignoring. It sounds cold, maybe even a bit manipulative, right? And if we were talking about playing harsh mind games, giving someone the silent treatment out of anger or to punish them, then yes, absolutely, that's not the path to genuine, lasting attraction. But there's a world of difference between that kind of ignoring and what I call strategic absence or intelligent inattention. This isn't about being mean, it's about understanding the deep, often unspoken psychology of human desire, particularly how value and scarcity are perceived. Think about it from a purely human behavior perspective. When something is constantly available, always there, easily accessible, what happens to our perception of its value? It can unintentionally diminish. This isn't a flaw in people, it's just a common cognitive bias. We tend to appreciate things more when there's a little effort involved, a little sense that it's not a given. Now, how does this apply to attracting a man and making him truly chase you in a healthy, eager way? It's not about suddenly going radio silent and hoping he panics. That can backfire. It's about cultivating such a rich, engaging, fulfilling life for yourself that your attention becomes a more precious commodity. When you're genuinely busy pursuing your passions, connecting with your friends, working on your goals, you naturally won't be available at his beck and call 24/7. This isn't a strategy you play, it's a reality you live. And this reality, this authentic engagement with your own life, sends a powerful subconscious message. It signals independence, self-sufficiency, and high self-worth. It tells him, without you ever having to say a word, that your world doesn't revolve around him waiting for his text or call. This subtle shift in dynamic can be incredibly potent. He starts to notice your absence, not because you're deliberately trying to make him, but because your presence was genuinely adding something positive, and now there's a space. And human nature abhors a vacuum. This right way to ignore is also about understanding communication patterns. If you're always the first to text, the quickest to reply, the one who always keeps the conversation going even when he's giving one-word answers, you're inadvertently training him that he doesn't need to put in much effort. By occasionally and naturally allowing there to be pauses, by not immediately jumping to fill every silence, you give him the room to step forward, to wonder, to initiate. This isn't about calculating a precise number of minutes before you text back. It's about being genuinely engaged in whatever else you're doing so that an immediate reply isn't always feasible or your top priority. That little bit of delay, born from genuine self-focus rather than a manufactured tactic, creates a window for his mind to start working. She's not instantly available. What's she up to? I wonder when I'll hear from her. That wondering is the very first seed of the chase. It's not about making him feel unimportant, but about making him realize your importance and the value of your engaged attention. Strategic space. Creating strategic space is an art form, and it's less about the act of ignoring and more about what fills that space for you. This is where so many people get it wrong. They'll try to ignore a man by staring at their phone, willing him to text, feeling anxious and empty. That's not powerful. That's just self-inflicted torture. And energetically, he can often feel that desperation from miles away. The real power comes when the space you create in your interactions with him is filled with your own vibrant life. What are you doing when you're not talking to him? Are you learning something new, hitting the gym, laughing with friends, lost in a creative project, excelling at work? This is the core of ignoring him the right way. You're not just pretending to be busy, you are busy building an amazing life that you love. A life that frankly he'd be lucky to be a part of. This strategic space also allows him to miss you. It's a fundamental human truth. Absence can indeed make the heart grow fonder, but only if the presence was valued in the first place, and only if the absence isn't perceived as punitive or rejecting. When you've had positive interactions, when you've connected genuinely, and then there's a natural pause because you're living your life, it gives him the emotional and mental room to reflect on those positive interactions. He starts to remember the good feelings, your laugh, your insights. He's not being bombarded with your constant presence, so he has the chance to desire it. This desire is the engine of the chase. If you're always there, always available, always filling his screen or his time, there's no space for that yearning to develop. You inadvertently suffocate the spark before it can grow into a flame. Furthermore, this space allows his investment to grow. When he has to put in a little effort to connect with you, when he has to initiate sometimes, when he has to wait a beat for your reply because you're genuinely engaged elsewhere, he's subtly investing his time, his thought, his emotional energy. And the more we invest in something or someone, the more valuable it becomes to us. It's the psychological principle of commitment and consistency. He's actively participating in the dynamic rather than passively receiving your constant attention. This shift from him being a passive recipient to an active pursuer is critical. It's not about making him jump through hoops, but about allowing a natural give and take where he feels a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction when he does connect with you. He's earned your time, your attention, and that makes it feel more meaningful to him. He starts to value not just you, but his own effort in winning you over, even in small ways. That's the magic of strategic, well-timed, and authentic inattention. Irresistible pull. So, how does all this translate into him chasing you like an addict? That word is strong, and we're aiming for healthy, enthusiastic pursuit, not an unhealthy obsession, of course. But the core mechanism is similar. It's about him developing a craving for your presence, your energy, your uniqueness. When you've mastered the art of ignoring him the right way, by being joyfully absorbed in your own fulfilling life, by communicating your value through your natural, not forced, unavailability at times, and by allowing him the space to miss you and invest in you, you create an irresistible pull. You become less predictable, and a bit of unpredictability, in a positive way, is incredibly attractive. He doesn't know exactly when he'll hear from you or what amazing thing you're up to, and that creates intrigue. Humans are curious creatures. We're drawn to what we don't fully understand, what keeps us guessing just a little. This isn't about being emotionally unavailable or cold. Quite the opposite. When you are present with him, be fully present. Be warm, engaging, and genuine. Let him see the wonderful person you are. The power comes from the contrast. The amazing connection when you are together or communicating, and the confident, self-sufficient way you operate when you're not. He starts to associate you with positive feelings, with stimulating conversation, with fun, and also with a certain admirable elusiveness that comes from your self-respect and full life. This combination makes you stand out. You're not just another woman who is constantly seeking his validation. You are a woman who validates herself, and your attention feels like a gift, not a given. He begins to realize that your time and energy are precious, and therefore he wants more of it. He'll start to prioritize reaching out, making plans, ensuring he secures his place in your interesting world. The chase then becomes less about him trying to conquer a distant object, and more about him being deeply drawn to your light, your confidence, your wholeness. He's not chasing because you're playing games. He's chasing because he's genuinely captivated by who you are and the high-value energy you exude. He sees that you have standards, that you won't settle, and that makes being chosen by you feel incredibly significant. This approach respects his intelligence and his desire for a partner who is his equal. It bypasses superficial tactics and goes straight to the heart of what builds deep attraction. Genuine self-worth reflected in how you live your life. He's not just chasing an image. He's chasing the experience of being with someone who elevates him, inspires him, and makes him feel truly alive. And that feeling, that pull towards someone who embodies such confidence and vitality, is what makes him want to pursue you with an intensity and focus that feels almost addictive. Learning to embody this confident, self-assured energy where your attention is valuable because you are valuable and living a full life transforms the entire dating dynamic. It's not about withholding, it's about having so much to give to your own life that your interactions with him become choice-driven, not need-driven. This shift creates a natural pull, a magnetic desire in him to move closer, to understand more, to be part of your world, turning the tables in the most empowering way. This completely changed how I see my own availability. Did any part of this really land for you? This content is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult a licensed healthcare provider before starting or stopping any health-related activity. This video does not claim to prevent, diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. The creator is not a medical professional. This content complies with YouTube's community guidelines and is not intended to promote dangerous or misleading health practices.